Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Hangover series. What the fuck is up? I am drinking a tequila concoction that I made. It's tequila with a wild berry. I don't know if it's a poppy or the other option, an Olipop. I don't know if it's a poppy or an Olipop. I get confused by those two a lot, but it's the wild berry flavor, whichever one has that. A little bit of strawberry lemonade and tequila. It's a Thursday. I just felt like I needed a drink today. I just had one of those days where I was like, I need a drink. So that's what I'm doing. So when this episode drops, I will be 24 years old, and I wanted to talk about all the things that I have learned this year, being 23 years old, everything that I learned throughout the year. I feel like I have changed a lot as a person. I feel like I have learned a lot about myself and just learned a lot of different aspects in life. And I just wanted to come on here and kind of just talk about all the things that I've learned this year and what 23 really taught me and share that with you guys. I feel like our 20s are such a weird time in our lives, and everybody's going through different things. Everyone's getting different jobs. People are finding themselves. People are just doing the damn thing, and so much is happening. Everybody's going different ways. Like, there's so many curveballs. Some people are getting married. Some people are getting promotions. Some people, are traveling the world. Like, everybody's kind of doing their own thing, and I love it. I just wanted to share my perspective and how this year has changed me and what I've kind of learned. Some of the things I might share, you might be like, I've been knowing this information. I learned this when I was 12. And some of the things you might still be learning. We're all on different life paths. We're all doing different things. We're all learning different things. And I think that is such an amazing part of life, is being on this roller coaster of different emotions, different lifestyles, everybody doing their own thing. I think it's so fun. I'm here for it. So I'm officially 24 years old when you hear this episode. I can't believe I'm going to be 24 years old. That is amazing. I'm happy that I'm turning an even number again. I don't know if anyone else out there feels this way, but I don't really like odd numbers. So being 23 was difficult for me because I was like, I don't like the number 3. I don't like odd numbers. So 24 sits a lot more comfortably with me. I like it. I like it a little bit better. But if you don't have a drink in hand, I feel like you should get a drink and we should sit down and just have a chat about what I've learned. And yeah, let's get into it. The first thing that I learned this year was how amazing and powerful it is to just move to a new city. If I could recommend anything that I have learned this year, it would be to move to a new city. I know that not everybody can move to a new city, that's not an option for everybody, but if it is an option for you, I 100% recommend it. I feel like moving to a new city was something I wanted to do at the age of 13. I was like, get me the fuck out of Nebraska. I want to move and I just want to go somewhere. I want to go to a city. I want to do something new. I knew that's what I wanted to do. Then I really wanted to do it at age 16. Then I really wanted to do it at age 18, but life has its curveballs. Things happen. And for me, the right timing for me to move to a big city was at age 23. So that is what I did. And I'm very lucky that I have supportive people in my life that were able to help me move and encouraged me to move and were just by my side. I know not everybody has that, but if you have that and you have the opportunity to move to a new city, I just recommend it. I think it has made me more independent. I've learned a lot about myself. I've met so many new people, and I've really just had to put myself out there in a way that I never had to do before. I feel like living in my hometown for so long, I got so comfortable with people and things and the environment, and I felt kind of stuck sometimes. So I like deep down knew that if I moved, it would push me out of my comfort zone and I'd have to navigate myself and just life in ways that I never have had to do before. And I wanted that challenge. I wanted something new, and it has just fulfilled me and made me such a different person. And I just really recommend it to anybody that has the chance. I think at least once in your life, you should do it. And I hear this all the time. And like one of my biggest things that I've always said and I've always done is like, I always listen to the older people, the people older than me. I'm like, what is the word for that? I just always really listen to what the people older than me are saying. I think they're so wise and they have lived so much longer than I have, even if it's like a year longer than me. Like they're a year older than me, they're 2 years older, they're 50 years older than me. Like they have just lived more, they have more wisdom. And something that I constantly hear is like, get out of your hometown and go move, or like that they had wished they did this when they were younger, they had wished they lived in a bigger city, or they had wished they went and backpacked, you know. And when I hear those things, like people wishing they did this and they didn't do it, I'm like, okay, well, I have to do that, you know? So something I really would just suggest in life is listen to the older people around you and what they're saying, because they have lived this life longer than us. And if they have regrets in life, like I don't want to feel that way. So I really just listened to them. And one of the things that I kept hearing from the people around me was that they had wished they moved to a big city. And I think I've just heard that throughout my whole life. So I was like, I gotta go. And it has been one of the best decisions I've ever made. The second thing that I have learned this year is how amazing and grateful and powerful it was to live alone at least once in your life. I lived alone for the first time ever this year, and I learned more about myself than I think I ever would have if I had lived with someone my whole life. My whole life up until now, I had lived with my mom. I had lived with my family. And that's just how it was. And then I moved to a bigger city and moved out all alone into a little studio apartment by myself. And I was a little bit nervous, I will say, at first, but I feel like I was more excited than nervous because, like I just said, like I wanted my life to change and I wanted to become a different person and I wanted to get to know myself in ways that I hadn't before. And living alone really challenged me in a lot of ways. You know, I had to be really independent. I had to do everything for myself. There was nobody, like if I was in danger, but like, I guess, like if I really needed something, like I got in, like, let's say, you know, something happened and, you know, normally in my hometown, I would be able to call someone and they would be there in 5 minutes. But here it's like, you have to learn how to do things on your own. You have to realize people are not just 5 minutes away. Different things like that. I just had to learn a lot. I had to also face a lot of my problems and just sit with a lot of my own thoughts. And there wasn't ever like background noise besides the annoying ass sirens outside. There was no background noise from like people in your house or your roommates or anything. Like the only noise was you and your brain. And I had to face a lot of my problems, I think, because I lived alone. I would, you know, be by myself a lot. I had a lot of time to think. I would be sitting in my bed going through different situations for a long time, and it just really got me thinking about who I am, myself, different situations. Like I just really tapped into different problems I'd gone through in the past, different situations, and it just really made me more aware of things, and it just made me a lot more independent. And I would just recommend living by yourself to everybody. I've also heard that from older people. Like they never got to live alone. They lived with roommates. They lived with their parents. They lived with their husbands. They lived with their boyfriends. They lived with their girlfriends, you know, all the things. And they never got to live alone. And they're like, oh, like I'm so curious what that's like. And I would just recommend it to anyone because I seriously think it changed my life. And I think I want to live alone again at some point because I just really, really enjoyed it. And you get to make a space your own. Like, there's just so many pros to it, and it is just amazing. The next thing that I learned this year is to start the thing you've been saying you want to do. Start the damn thing you've been saying you want to do for so long. My example, as I'm sure you're going to know, is starting a podcast. I wanted to start a podcast for I think like 3 years. Like, me and my sister had made a podcast cover before. I had filmed podcast episodes with some of my friends. I did solo episodes, and I was just so scared to do it, even though like it was calling my name and I really wanted to do it. I was so scared. I was scared of judgment. I was scared of what people would say. I was scared of no one enjoying it. I was scared of everything you can possibly think of. And I am so happy that I did it. I wanted to do it for literally so long. And the moment that I started doing it, it has just brought me so much happiness. And I just like wanted to do this for so long. And now I'm finally doing it for myself. I love podcasting. I love editing it. I love posting it. I love seeing the engagement, like everything about it. I just am obsessed with, and it brings me so much happiness. And I think a lot of times in life, we want to do things and we just like put it in the back of our heads because we're scared of what would happen, or like judgment, or literally anything. Like, we're all just scared. And I think there's so many situations that I've heard people talk about where they're like, oh, you know, when I was in my 20s, like, I wish I had done this, or like, I would have done this, or like, I just hear people say so many times the things that they would have done differently, and they are like this age and they wish that they had wrote that book, and they wish they had gone on that TV show, like random things like this. And I, you know, wanted to do this for so long, and then I knew, like, I literally knew. And I told my family, I'm like, well, once I move, like, I'll start it then. Like, once I move. And they're like, what? Like, why does moving? I'm like, you just don't get it. You just don't get it. But once I move, like, I'm going to start it. I just have to move, and then I'll do it. I don't know why, but I just need to move, and then I will start the podcast. And I moved, and I started it, and I am so happy that I did. I love it. I'm obsessed with it. And I just think we should all start the thing that we have been wanting to do, whether that is like a makeup account, your own business, going after a new career, like whatever it is that you want to do. I think you should just do it. And the best part about it is, like, nothing is permanent. If you wanted to do something for so long and then you end up hating it, like, you can just stop at any given moment, you know? Like, it's your thing. But you never know until you try. And I just personally don't want to live with any regrets in life. I don't want to be 80 years old and be like, what would have happened if I started the podcast I wanted to start, you know? What would have happened if I never made the YouTube vlogs that I wanted to post? You know, what would have happened? And I just don't want to live with the what ifs anymore. I think there were so many times in life where I was like, ugh, like, what if I had started this earlier? Or what if I had done this, you know, a year ago? And I'm like, I don't want to live with the what ifs anymore. Like, let's just get this thing going. Nothing is ever going to be 100% perfect. You're going to learn as you go. But whatever it is that's calling your name that you have been putting aside and you're like, I want to do it, I think you should just give it a go, do it, and see where it takes you, you know? I am so glad that I started the podcast, and I just think everyone should start the thing that they've been wanting to do. Okay, the next thing that I learned this year, which this one was a tough one for me to learn, was that your problems do follow you. They don't just go away. I don't know why I thought this, and I'm sure other people think this as well, but I truly thought moving away from my hometown, all of the problems that I had there, I would just move away and they would be gone. I really thought all these issues, all these things I was going through, you know, I was going to move and they would disappear. But they do not. You know, you are still the same person. You are still having the same problems. You are still that same person that went through that event. You're still you. At the end of the day, you are just living in a new environment. I will say, like, I do think it was a little easier to navigate some of the issues I was going through, but they're definitely still with you when you move. So I think something that I would just say is, like, if you think that moving away from everybody you know, and moving somewhere new is going to fix everything for you and you're not going to have to deal with XYZ. That's not the case. You do still have to face XYZ, whether that's in therapy or through self-talk or whatever it may be. You're still going to have to work through it. It doesn't just go away. It's still with you. As much as that sucks, I think living alone, I was able to face a lot of these problems head on because I had myself to talk with, I had a therapist to talk with, and I just had to face these problems in a new environment and face these emotions in a different way than I had. You know what I'm saying. I learned that your problems do not go away. They stay with you and you still have to face them head on. It's going to be okay though, but you do still have to face them and work through them. They do not just vanish into midair. The next thing that I learned this year, which was also something I probably should have learned a long time ago, was if a man disrespects you once, he is going to disrespect you again. I don't know why, in my heart, I thought for the longest time when a man did me wrong or they did something dirty or, they lied or they did XYZ, that their apology and them being like, oh, I'm never going to do it again, all the things that they say, like I truly believed they would never do it again. And when I say disrespect, I mean something that is just like so chaotic and wrong and unforgiving, but you forgive them. Don't do that. They are going to do it again, and they're probably going to disrespect you even harder than they did before. So my lesson to that was just believe people the first time that they show you that they are capable of disrespecting you. Believe them the first time. Don't let them show you that they can disrespect you even harder the second time. That was something that I had to learn this year. It was very tough to learn, but in a way, I'm kind of happy that I learned it, because if I hadn't, I would probably still be going through things like this. And I just think it's important to realize that if someone is going to treat you a certain way one time, they probably are going to do it again. They are going to do it again. And you should just believe people the first time they show you who they really are. This kind of goes hand in hand with that, but the more time you spend with the wrong people, the more time you are losing from the right ones. I think I spent a lot of time this past year I feel like I'm relaying this to men specifically, but, this involves friendships too. But I think I just gave my attention to the wrong kind of men this year that deserved absolutely none of my attention. And I was so distracted and so focused on these men that gave zero fucks about me. They did not care if I was living or breathing. They did not care about anything I was doing. And I think I was a little bit too focused on them. And the more time you focus on these little fucking disgusting rats and these people that treat you like shit, the more time you are losing from people that enjoy your presence, care to hear what you're saying, and want to hear what you're saying. Like, the more time you're spending with these little rats in the streets, like, you're just losing time from people that want to hear you speak and care about your well-being. So that goes hand in hand with what I was just saying, though. But like, when someone shows that they don't care, they don't care. I had an old therapist tell me, like, when someone shows you who they are the first time, like, maybe give them a second try, but when they show you again, like, they just genuinely don't care. Like, don't let them show you a third time. And I think that is so true. People can change, yes, but I do think if someone is just going to continue to act a certain way, they're probably not going to change. And if they do change, it's not going to be anytime soon. So you might as well go find other people to surround yourself with, to spend time with, whether that is really lonely and you're spending a lot of time by yourself, or it's with an entirely new group of people. You don't need to be spending time with people that don't fulfill your cup, don't make you feel good about yourself. Like, go find the people that lift you up and care about your well-being. Which this also kind of goes hand in hand with this one, but I also learned just to let the guy go and move on. There have been countless times in my life, literally way too many times. Like, I don't even want to talk about it, but there have been so many times where I've been obsessed with a man that gives literally no shits about me. And it is so important to just let them go and move on. I have literally like begged for a man's attention before multiple times. I've like begged for a text back. I've done the drunk calling 15 times, you know? I've done all the things in the fucking book. If you are like, oh, I probably did this and it was so embarrassing, like, girl, man, like, I've done it too. I've done crazy shit, okay? And no person is worth doing any of these things for. I used to like lay in bed at night wondering if a guy was going to text me back. I would lay here and be like, what is he doing right now? What is he thinking? Does he like me? Does he think I'm hot? I would like go see if he liked another girl's Instagram picture. Did he follow a new girl? Like all the fucking things I would do. And I've just come to the conclusion that if you are sitting here wondering what a guy is doing, why he isn't texting you back, you have to drunk call him 15 times to get his attention, he's not worth any of this energy, and you should just let him go and move the fuck on. Let him go and move on. He's not worth the time. He's not worth literally any more of your thoughts. And if you're thinking about a man this much, you're probably not busy enough, and you need to go find a hobby, which I've also learned. Like, get outside, do a hobby. I don't know, fucking knit a sweater. But there are so many things you could be doing that don't involve thinking about this pathetic little fucking rat. The next thing I learned this year, which this one you might be like, what the fuck, bitch? But it is okay to cry, everybody. It's okay to cry. It's okay to have emotions. It's okay to let it out on the table. I think for a lot of my life, I was very scared of showing sadness. I was scared of crying. I was scared of having emotions in front of people. I still honestly get really uncomfortable feeling emotional in front of other people. I don't know why. It's just not in my nature to do it with other people. I do prefer to cry alone, but it's okay to cry. I think just a lot of my life, I like naturally am a very happy person, I feel like, but I think a lot of people used to associate me with just being this overly happy, smiley, bubbly person. And then when I would show some sort of sadness or some sort of emotion that wasn't happiness, everybody was like asking so many questions like, oh, why is she so upset? Why is she so mad? Why is she crying? Why is she like, people would just, it would just bother me. Like, I'm like, okay, why can Tiffany over there not be smiling 24/7 and no one's fucking asking questions about why she's not happy? But when I am not happy for one fucking day, everybody is asking me so many fucking questions. So I think a lot of my life, like, I was just sick of people like being so wrapped up in why I wasn't, like, if I was not happy for one fucking day, people were like talking about it to me and asking me what was wrong. And I'm like, nothing's wrong. I'm just not overly bubbly today, okay? I'm just not having a good day. Like, why do you give a fuck? Which, like, it's kind of them, but, like, also, can we just have bad days and people not ask fucking questions about what's going on? Like, nothing's wrong. I'm just not here to smile, okay? So I think for a lot of my life, with that being said, I just tried to hide the fact that I could never be sad, and I was just laughing my way through life, and I was just a ball of joy. And then I finally lived alone, and I was crying every night when I went to bed, and I honestly cry a lot when I go to bed still, because I think for so much of my life I wasn't allowing myself to just feel emotions and cry and just do the things normal people are doing. And it feels really good. It feels really fucking good to cry. So if you're not crying, try it out. Let's all start crying right now. The next thing that I learned this year is that communication is key, and people cannot read our minds, okay? I am still learning this one because sometimes I'm like, why can't people read minds? But communication is key. I think a lot of my problems in the past could have been a lot smaller if I had just communicated, and honestly vice versa, if other people had just communicated. I think a lot of times in life we just assume because, you know, I'm feeling angry and I'm feeling this way, that this other person that I'm mad at should just know that information. And I think we forget that, you know, not everyone's brains work the same. You know, a situation you could be mad about, this other person would think is nothing, and vice versa. Something someone else is super upset about, you could be like, that is not a big deal. But we're different people, so a big deal to you could, like, big deals are different things to different people. So I just think a lot of my problems in the past could have been resolved a lot quicker if people had just communicated, and if I had just communicated with them and just spoken before it was too late. I think I've had a couple friendship fallouts in the past where it's like, if I had just said something, if I had just said how I was feeling, if they had just said how they were feeling, like, we'd probably still be friends, or our fallout wouldn't have been as intense as it was. And it's just important to communicate. And also, if you're upset, like, communicate it. It's really scary, but it's better at the end of the day. And communication is just key in every aspect of life. People can't read our minds. You have to communicate, and it's really good to communicate, Taking a sip of my tequila drink because low-key, this is a long list. But guys, I've learned a lot this year, okay? Like, why am I pre-gaming Trader Joe's right now? I don't fucking know. Okay. The next thing I learned this year, which I think I had to relearn this. I think this is a mindset that I had a long, long time ago. And then I got out of this mindset, and now I'm back to the mindset. I relearned it. It is not embarrassing to have feelings for someone and to admit that to them. It's not embarrassing, guys. I think for a lot of my life, I think just naturally I have a lot of strong feelings for human beings. And when I like a guy, I feel like I like them a lot, okay? I feel drawn to people. I sometimes just really like people. And I used to try and hide that because I thought it was embarrassing. I'm like, this is so embarrassing that I like this person. Who knows if they feel the same way? And I thought it was embarrassing. And at the end of the day, it's not. And that's how you learn rejection. I honestly would rather know right off the bat if somebody didn't like me so that I could move on and spend time with someone that did like me. And that kind of ties in with the communication thing. I think a lot of situationships I've had in the past, or talking stages, like, probably would have ended a lot fucking sooner if I had known this person didn't feel the same way that I felt. I learned a lot of rejection this year. I think I've been rejected more times in my life this year than I ever have before, which is honestly amazing. But I think I admitted feelings to someone this year, and they did not feel the same way. I don't think that's embarrassing. I think that it's fine that you liked someone and you admit it. They don't feel the same way. Glad we're on the same page now and you can move on. When you spend time with someone, when you're going on dates with someone, you're going to start liking them, and apparently they're not going to like you back. But that's okay, and life moves on, and it's not embarrassing that you had feelings for someone. That's very human being of you to have feelings. Like, that's good that you had feelings, and you didn't just go out with someone just to go out with them, You had feelings like we do as human beings, and it's not embarrassing. Another thing I learned is that it's okay that not every friend you meet doesn't like you, because you don't like everyone you meet. You actually don't like a lot of people you meet. Just kidding. But I think when I moved here, I was going on a lot of friend dates. I was meeting a lot of people, and a lot of these people, we literally hung out like one time and never spoke again. Probably on both of our ends. Like, sometimes I never reached out again. They never reached out again, whatever it may be. And that's okay. I don't think it's anything we need to take personal. I think sometimes we just go into situations, at least for me, and I'm like, I like everybody. I can find a trait about every person, like one thing about them that I like, and we can bond on, and we can be friends on. And as great as that may sound, like, not everybody thinks that way. And there's going to be things that people don't like about you. There's so many things that you don't like about other people, and not everyone you meet is going to be your new best friend. Not everyone you meet is even going to want to be your friend at all. They might think you're like super fucking annoying. Who knows? But I think that is a great thing. And yeah. Another thing I learned this year is that it is so important to set boundaries with people, even if it makes you sick to your stomach. This one I am also still learning. I am low-key pretty bad at setting boundaries, but I have come a long way this year. I used to set no boundaries. Like, I don't think I knew what a boundary was, because I still feel this way in life though at times, where I try to set a boundary with people, and it just doesn't work. Or I set a boundary and then they try to hit you back with a boundary that has nothing to do with the boundary you're setting, and so it kind of disregards the boundary you're setting. But I'm still trying to learn this one. I have gotten a lot better about setting boundaries with people, still working more on it though. And I know that might sound dumb, but setting boundaries is low-key very hard, and it's very uncomfortable, especially when it has to do with certain things. It literally used to make me sick to my stomach. I would be shaking, almost on the verge of tears, just trying to set a simple boundary, because I think you just never know which way it's going to go, especially when I've tried to set boundaries in the past and people just think my boundary's stupid, or they're not doing the boundary. Especially because I feel like some people that I have set boundaries with this year, we kind of don't speak anymore. And yeah, I just think it's important to set boundaries in life, because otherwise people are just gonna walk all over you, and you're not gonna be living your best life if you don't have any boundaries put up. And I was really bad at that for a long time. Which this comes along with my next point, is that not everyone is meant to be in your life forever. And as sad as that is, it's okay to enjoy the moments that you guys had together. I think with setting boundaries, with moving to a new city, with learning and growing as an individual, you just kind of realize who you want to keep in your life and who you don't want to keep in your life, who is supporting you, who is not supporting you, who you keep in contact with when you move, who doesn't care to see you ever again. You just kind of learn a lot about that stuff. And as sad as it is, there were a lot of people that I think I was close with, and I have tried to reach out to and tried to keep a friendship going. And now that I'm not convenient to them anymore, they don't reach out and they don't reply, and they don't want to continue that friendship. And as sad as it is, especially because you've been friends with some of these people for so long and you genuinely thought you guys had an amazing friendship and didn't realize that you were just convenient because you lived in the area, and that you were just a convenience friend, to realize that it sucks. But I think, as you grow older and as you find out more about yourself, and as we grow into more of who we want to be, I think that's just naturally going to happen. And it can be really tough and it can be really sad, but I think it also is just a part of growing, and it's okay. And you can just be happy for the moments that you did have with them. And I don't think you ever have to hate people. You had great times together, but I do think it's okay to move on and be happy for them and wish people the best, even though you might not ever see them again. The next thing I learned this year is that you should go on the goddamn date. Let a man take you out. Let a girl take you out. It's not that serious. I think we all deserve to be taken out and treated correctly, be bought a nice dinner, be bought a drink, be bought a coffee, whatever it may be. Go on the date, meet a new person. Nothing's that serious. It's going to be fun. You're going to have a good time. You might have the worst time, but you're just finding out more about what you like and what you don't like. Dating should not be that serious, even though it gives me the heebie-jeebies sometimes. I think putting yourself out there, getting to know other people, is just all about learning what you want in a partner and what you don't want in a partner, or what you just want in someone, I think it's fun. I don't think it needs to be taken that seriously unless you want it to be taken really seriously, but just go on the date, have fun, and just live your fucking life. If you want to go on 10 dates a week, go on 10 dates a week. If you want to go on one date a year, go on one date a year. I've really learned not to take it that seriously, because it doesn't need to be that serious, I think I thought when I was going on these dates, holy shit, this person wants to date me, this person thinks I'm going to be their girlfriend, and nobody was thinking that. They just wanted to meet a nice lady, and that's what we did, okay? So don't take dating seriously. Just go on the date, let someone take you out. It's going to be fun, and you'll learn something about yourself. All right. The next thing that I learned this year is that when you do something out of the ordinary, people are going to judge you. They're going to tell you it's weird. They're going to question your work. They're going to make fun of what you're doing, but you just need to continue doing it. I think I knew when I started doing this podcast that obviously people were going to have opinions. People were going to be like, since when did she want to do this? What the fuck is this? I knew people were going to have their thoughts and their opinions, but I think I didn't realize these thoughts and opinions were going to come from people that I thought I was close with. I've had a lot of different reactions to this. I have learned a lot about people through doing this. I learned a lot about who is fake and who is not fake. You know, there's so many people that I thought I was friends with that literally are so unsupportive of the podcast. There's so many people that think it's stupid. There are people that have said the craziest fucking shit to me about it. And I'm like, how do people sleep at night when they have these comments to say? But I've just learned, you know, if you're going to put yourself out there, you're going to do something out of the ordinary. You're going to do something that not every bitch is fucking doing. People are going to have an opinion on it. And whether that's a good opinion or a bad opinion, who gives a fuck? I've had people come up to me and be like, that's so weird. Like, why would you want to do that? I could never do that. How are you going to get a job? How are you ever going to get a boyfriend? Do you think people actually want to hear you speak? You have a really weird voice. I don't know how anyone wants to listen to you. All the things you can think of, someone's probably said to me. And of course, people are going to have their opinions, and not everyone is going to like you. Not everyone's opinion is going to be good. But I've just really learned that even people that you thought would support you, even people that you thought were not judging you, they are judging you. And that is okay. That's okay. You know, we love a little bit of judgment here and there. We love the opinions, but I just think that I didn't realize that people I thought I was friends with, people I'm close to, would have opinions that didn't necessarily support what I was doing. And I didn't realize that people close to me would question what I was doing. So also, if you feel like doing something like this or just doing something that people are going to question, people close to you are going to question it too. So just be prepared for that. But don't let it stop you from doing what you want to do. This kind of ties in with this, but also it doesn't, but it kind of does. But my next thing that I learned is that people really just do project their insecurities onto you. And you just have to realize that. People have said the craziest things. Craziest things you can think of someone saying to someone. Like, I promise you, someone has said it to me. I have had some ruthless comments in my lifetime. And for the longest time, people would say these crazy things to me about how I look, about how I talk, about how I portray myself, about what I'm doing, about literally anything to try and tear me down and try and pick me apart and try and almost make me, it feels like, hate myself. People do that. And for the longest time, I would believe these people. People have called me dumb my whole life, for example. I remember these girls at a serving position that I had. They thought that I said I was going to med school. Not sure where they heard that. I've never considered that. Never have said those words in my mouth. Those words have never came out of my mouth. So I don't know where they gathered that from. But they thought that I was going to med school. And they came up to me and told me they were really concerned that I was doing that because they were worried for my future patients' lives. And I was like, I'm not going to med school. Where did you gather that? And why would you be concerned for anyone's lives? And they told me that it's because I'm just super, super dumb and I'm so ditzy. And they were just really, really concerned for my future patients that don't exist because I'm not in fucking med school's lives. And that one did hurt because I was like, who the fuck are these bitches? And why did they think I was going to med school? And why are my coworkers calling me stupid that I don't even fucking like? And you would think the dumb thing, people have literally called me dumb since fucking 4 years old. Like, how are you calling a 4-year-old dumb? Like, we're all dumb, bitch. But people have called me stupid my whole life. They've called me dumb. They've told me my voice is high. They've told me all the fucking things you can think of. And I've realized that people are just projecting. They must think that they are the dumbest person in the room. Or they must just think I'm really fucking smart. I don't know. Or they're jealous that I'm not afraid to be dumb. I don't know. But people are just projecting. Because I know for me, I have never gone up to someone and be like, you're so fucking stupid. I've never gone up to someone and been like, you're so dumb. But I've realized people just project their insecurities on you. If someone says your outfit's weird, they probably think your outfit's really hot. If someone says your eyebrows look bad, like, they probably want your eyebrows. I don't know. The weird comments, it's coming because they don't like their eyebrows or they don't like something about themselves and they want you to feel shitty about yourself. And you can't let them. You can't let them win. So if someone is being mean to you, if someone is saying unkind words to you, just remember they're just projecting and tell them thank you. Be like, thank you. I'm so glad that you think I am dumb and I'm so glad that you hate my eyebrows. Are you happy now? Are you happy now? Okay. Another thing I've learned this year, which this one also took me a while to learn, is that it is okay to not want to hook up with people. Okay? That's okay. I have never really been someone that wants to sleep with everyone and their dad. I've never been that way. I've just never been a hookup girl. It's not really my thing. It's never been my thing. It's just not for me, okay? And that is okay. I have had so many situations with different friend groups and different friends where they have tried to get me to sleep with people. They've been like, why aren't you sleeping with your date? Why aren't you sleeping with this man? Why haven't you hooked up with someone in 8 months? And it's like, why do these people care? Just because all of your friends are sleeping with people, just because a ton of people you know are sleeping with people, doesn't mean that you have to. And nobody should give a fuck about your hookup life and your sex life. Nobody should care. Nobody should have an opinion on it but you. And if people are that concerned about who you're sleeping with, they need help. Because why do they care? I think that took me a long time. I think I thought it was normal for a while, like for these people to like question what I was doing in my hookup life. And I would just be like, oh, like I don't really want to, or oh, because I just don't want to. And they would be like, I just don't know how you're doing that. I blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you don't owe an explanation for anything. You don't owe an explanation. You don't owe an explanation to anybody. Nobody should care about your sex life. And if you don't want to hook up with people, don't hook up with people. Like, do whatever feels right to you. Do what feels best. If everyone and their mom wants to call you prude, let them call you prude. They're probably just projecting, and I don't know. They wish that they could keep their dick in their fucking pants. So if you are like me and you're like, that's just not my vibe, that's just not my thing, that's okay. Continue being you, you know? We're not over here judging people for sleeping with someone every weekend. We're just living our lives, and other people should just be concerned about their own sex lives, you know? Don't worry about what other people are doing in that aspect of life. The next thing I learned this year is about Reddit. Who knew that you could find friends and supporters on Reddit? Not me. I had never gone on Reddit in my whole entire life. And then I went on Reddit and I'm obsessed with it and I go on it like every day. Even though I think it's supposed to be super anonymous, it would be so obvious who I am because all I talk about is the Hangover series on Reddit. But I have made some friends on there. I've made some podcasting friends. I have found supporters through Reddit and I'm obsessed with it. And if you're not on Reddit, get on there. If you are having a bad day, someone on Reddit is having either the same day or a worse day. People spill the fucking lives on Reddit. People say the craziest shit on there because it's anonymous. It's crazy. You can read like the juiciest stories on Reddit. You don't know if it's fake, you don't know if it's true, but it's juicy. So if you need a laugh, if you need to feel better, if you just need advice, go to Reddit. And yeah, that's what I learned about Reddit. I didn't even know it existed. Like, I knew it existed, but I just didn't know what it was about. And now I'm addicted to Reddit. Like, I literally have notifications on for Reddit. Is that insane? I don't know. The next thing I learned is wear what makes you feel good. I don't give a fuck if someone else wouldn't wear it. I think for a lot of my life, I'm not a fashionista. I didn't go to fashion school. So, some of my outfits might be a little bit questionable. Some of the things I wear might be like, meh, what is she wearing? But I like it, okay? I like what I'm wearing. If you like to wear the baggiest clothes, like, wear the baggiest clothes. If you're the only person in your friend group wearing that and everyone else is wearing crop tops, like, wear the baggy clothes. Or maybe it's the opposite way. Everyone likes to wear baggy clothes and you like to wear the little crop tops. Like, do that. Wear what you feel good in. Wear what makes you feel comfortable. Who gives a fuck what Patricia is saying? Patricia wants your boobs out more? Like, Patricia, these aren't your boobs, okay? They don't need to be out. These are your clothes. This is your body. So wear what you want on it. If you don't feel comfortable in the fucking mini skirt, but everyone else is wearing the mini skirts, like, don't wear the mini skirt. Wear the jeans. Wear whatever the fuck you want. It is your body. It is your clothes. It is your life. And don't just wear things because it makes a group of people happy. Wear whatever you would like to wear. Celebrate the small wins. This one's big for me. I think in life we have these huge goals, we have these huge things we want to get to, and we always want what's bigger and bigger and bigger, and we always just think about like the biggest, highest goal we can be at. But in order to get to this big goal, to this big achievement, to this point of life that we want to be at, you got to get through the small wins to get there. And small wins look different to everybody, whether it's you didn't want to text a man for 5 days and you completed that achievement, like, that is a small fucking win. Whatever it is, celebrate the small wins in life. Life is all about the small wins in order to get to the big wins. And that is something I've learned. Who cares if no one else is celebrating with you? Clap for yourself and you got this. Another thing I learned is that sometimes you have to write yourself an apology because you never got the one that you wanted. I've been in situations where I so badly was waiting for an apology from someone that was never coming. I was waiting. I was like, they'll text me. Ooh, maybe one day they'll write me like a 5-page letter. Ooh, like maybe that person will call me on a rainy day and they'll apologize for their wrongdoing to me, or blah, 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 whatever it is. And I feel like that was just a waiting game that I was playing with myself, because at the end of the day, the apology is probably not coming. And if it does come, like, you shouldn't just be waiting on someone to say sorry to you to get over a situation, because if the apology hasn't came already, like, it's probably not coming, and that is okay. And if it does come one day, like, woohoo. Something that helped me this year is writing myself the apology that was never given. And that might sound really stupid, that might sound insane, but try it out, because it honestly helped me get over a couple of situations where I was very upset about not getting an apology. Kind of how you do it is you just write an apology of what you want, what you would want this person to say to you if they were apologizing to you. You write it down, you can type it out, you can whatever, and then you read it. And it's like you're getting that apology. I mean, obviously, you know it's not from that person, but it just healed something. It heals something in you. Just reading the words as if you are getting that apology. And then it honestly helps you move on a little bit. So if you're stuck in a situation, or you're like waiting on an apology, you're waiting on that fucking call from someone and it's not coming, don't waste any more time on it. Don't waste another fucking breath on it. Write yourself the apology, read it, and I promise you it will help you move on. It literally healed multiple things inside of me by doing this. So definitely recommend it. Something else I learned this year is that it's really fun to go to events to yourself, and it's really important to not wait on somebody to do something with you. I think when I was living in my hometown, I was so used to just being able to call up a friend and be like, do you want to go do this? Do you want to go do this? Can you go do this? Blah, blah, blah. Do you want to go on a walk? Do you want to try out this new coffee shop? Whatever it may be. It was so easy to just call someone up and someone was there and someone could go with me. Moving here, I had like no friends. I didn't really know anybody. So there were a lot of situations where I was like, ooh, I really want to go to that event, or ooh, I really want to try this place out. Like, I wish I had a friend to go with, but I didn't have anyone to call up. And I wasn't going to let that stop me from going. I remember I went to like my first event by myself last year and I had so much fun. Honestly, not more fun than I would have had with someone else, but it was really enjoyable to just, you're by yourself, but you can meet new friends. You go get the food you want to get. You go get the drink. You don't have to wait in lines with anyone else for what they want to get. You just are doing your own fucking thing. And it was so fun. You get to do whatever you want by yourself in your own company. And I just really encourage you to not wait around for anyone else because no one's coming. I've just learned to not wait on people to come. Like, just if you want to do something, go do it. Another thing I learned is it's okay that everyone around you has boyfriends and is getting married and is doing the damn thing. That doesn't mean that you have to do that. I feel like so many people, as we get more into our 20s, people are like, oh, like I have this friend that I could introduce you to. Oh, like, have you been on any dates recently? Oh, like, have you found blah, blah, blah? And you're like, what? Who do I like? Am I wearing a shirt that says I want a boyfriend? And of course, like, people are going to get married and people are going to get in serious relationships now. And that's just the way life flows. But if you don't want a boyfriend, like, you don't have to have a boyfriend. If you don't want this or that, like, you don't have to do that. No one's making these people be in serious relationships. So why are people trying to get you into serious relationships, People are acting like it's, like, the worst thing ever to be single. And I'm like, wait, why is this, like, the best time of my goddamn life? Like, I've never been happier being single. So just because everyone around you is getting boyfriends and doing the damn thing, like, doesn't mean you have to. We're all on different life paths again. We're all doing our different things. Live your life, and hopefully they will live theirs. And I guess just to sum this all up, I've just learned to live your goddamn life to the fullest and just take it all in. Just take each day in, day by day. There's bad days, there's good days, there's crazy days, and just to take life in and take it one day at a time. Take it step by step. I think in the past, I tried to just do too much, and I wanted to be at this, and if I wasn't getting this, then I was like going crazy over shit. So just taking it day by day, baby steps, small wins, all the things, like, we're all in this together. I feel like I always say that, but like, we're all in this together. Life is a dream, and everything is gonna be okay. I am like overheating right now. I swear, like, I literally had like a sip of this tequila drink, if even a sip of it, and I'm like, why am I overheating? But that is everything that I learned at 23. I think I learned a lot more, but I wasn't gonna speak for like 3 hours. I probably could go on for 3 hours, but I wasn't gonna do that to you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I can't believe that I'm 24 years old. But I'm so excited to be 24 years old. Even numbers, let's fucking go. Thank you for tuning in. I love you guys so much. So happy you're here. And I will catch you guys next week.